Hello traders. Today we're going to be looking at crude, BTC, gold, some thoughts on yen, and a look at pound yen and pound dollar. Let's dive in. Starting with crude, we talked about how we liked buying crude on dips last week and the potential for a move back into the high 60s, which could then set up the possibility of another breakout attempt of the longer-term trend line. We've seen a retracement today after a break higher of its recent highs, and a level which coincides with some big resistance levels seen earlier in Q2. Today's pullback was a result of some risk aversion during the Asia session, and as we don't think there's much reason for crude to be selling off deeply, we see dips like these as opportunities to look at some long trades. We look at 63s to provide support going forward, which is this orange band, and think the mid 63s are good levels to get long, and even better in the low 63s. Moving on to Bitcoin. It's found support today at this upper trend line it broken out from last month, and retesting a key price range today where we saw some decent accumulation before the breakout in July. So based on that, it would be fairly reasonable to assume that there's some ample demand in the 108-109K range, and of course, an extension lower could see a brief capitulation move. But any overextensions toward 106 and most definitely towards 104 I would consider to be good value, considering that we've already seen some strong pivots higher from these levels. Moving on to gold, I first want to highlight this gold-silver ratio chart, which is putting a 2-day reversal right off this very strong trend line, which has seen numerous touches over the years. This is somewhat in line with how we view the macro risks playing out in the market right now, and we've been buying dips in gold today on the narrative of Fed independence taking center stage again, and a Reuters article noting that China's net gold imports via Hong Kong more than doubled in July compared to June. Looking at the gold chart, price action is looking fairly constructive with a breakout and a retest of the prior highs just above the 3350 level, and of which neatly coincides with this blue trend line, which has seen some very clean touches over recent months. We're seeing strong support underneath, and we think there's potential for gold to have another crack at this upper trend line. I also want to offer some thoughts on the yen. This is the yen index, which is equally weighted against the other G10 currencies, and you'd have to look at this and say that the risk is looking increasingly to the downside. Long yen still continues to be a very popular theme, whether I hear it among some of my peers or from institutional FX desks or bank research. But I don't think this is the right theme to be trading around, given that there's some upward price pressures from the impact of tariffs expected to kick in, and the bulk of interest rate cuts globally being largely done, if not amply priced in by the market. So going forward, we do like selling yen rallies, buying cross yen dips as a bigger picture macro trading bias. Which brings us to pound yen. The pair has been very well supported in the low 198s and is looking to make another attempt to hold a rally above 199, of which the price action is starting to look a little bit more convincing than it has done recently. We're seeing some slightly constructive price action in cable, with the Friday low being a potential right shoulder to a broader inverted head and shoulder pattern. We are still some ways from the structure being validated, with the neckline coming in at around 1.3590, but in the meantime, we do find today's bounce at the 61.8 and the 50 fib to be quite constructive for further upside. That's all for today's price action report. If you found this insightful and interested in seeing more content from us, please give this a like and subscribe to our channel. And if you're a serious trader that's interested in joining a private group of experienced traders, check out the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and good luck trading.